Hi there, it's day 27 of your reset. It's Saturday, and I just want to congratulate you for getting this far and encourage you to just stick it out for these next few days because you'll feel so proud of yourself and so satisfied if you get right to the end of the program, which I know that you're going to do because if you're this far into it, then another few days doesn't change anything. Today we're looking at sleep and the circadian rhythms, which is super important. Sleep is one of those areas of health and lifestyle that is neglected. And yeah, for me, it's just become a non-negotiable. I know how important it is for my health and for my healing on a daily basis. And yeah, I actually make decisions now around whether an activity is going to interrupt with my sleeping patterns. I sort of navigate my lifestyle in accordance with going to bed early and getting up early. But just before we jump into the information for today, if you've come across this video on YouTube and you don't know who I am or what this is about, just click on the link in the video notes and you can jump across to my website, and the page there will just explains everything about this 31-day detox and reset program, the Paleo Reset 31, which goes right into the nuts and bolts of what the paleo diet is, what the ancestral health model is, what the primal health recommendations are. So, okay, let's get into it. Sleep and the circadian rhythms. Receiving adequate sleep is crucial for both the body and for the brain. And unfortunately, sleep deprivation is increasingly common in children and in adults. Sleep preparation is everything. In the same way that we need the right ingredients to put together a healthy meal, there are certain ways to prepare for a sound and rejuvenating sleep. It's not enough to just simply go to bed and turn off the lights. Sleep is a fundamental part of our health and well-being. Homo sapiens has always slept a lot, especially in winter, but we're now sleeping less than we ever have. And so instead of getting a minimum of 8 or 9 hours of sleep every night, many people are only getting 5 or 6, and it's just not enough. How we sleep affects how we heal on the cellular level. While we sleep, organs are regenerated, muscles strengthen and rebuild, all the systems of the body rejuvenate. The immune system works in top gear when we're sleeping. HGH, which is the human growth hormone, is released, and this helps the body burn fat. And the parts of the brain which are responsible for emotional and social functioning take a break, which means that you can face the next day without stress. And this is interesting. Our information and memories are reorganized when we sleep. And there's this phenomenon which is known as LTP, long-term potentiation, which occurs during the REM phase of sleep. And this phase becomes, we become more sleep dependent as learning complexity increases. Yeah, so the more that we're learning, the more we need that REM phase to get that process of long-term potentiation activated or happening. So what are the circadian rhythms? The circadian rhythms are all about light and dark, yeah, light and darkness, like all living creatures on the planet, right? Whether we're talking about plants or whether we're talking about, little singular cell structures, or whether we're talking about complex organisms like ourselves, all living creatures, like all living creatures on the planet, our sleep and our wake cycles are determined by the circadian rhythms, which are governed by the rising and the setting of the sun. And obviously, trees and single-celled organisms, they don't necessarily have a sleep and a wake cycle, but they're definitely responsive to sunlight and to darkness. So the presence or absence of light stimulates the release or the suppression of the hormones melatonin and serotonin. When the receptors in our skin cells register that light is fading, melatonin is released in a process known as dim light melatonin onset. And so melatonin envelopes us and makes us sleepy and promotes a long and deep sleep, right? So this hormone is directly related to darkness. With the morning light, our genes reduced reduce the melatonin production, and increase serotonin and cortisol levels, right? And so these two hormones, the serotonin and cortisol, allow us to feel refreshed and energized for the new day. So the problem that we have now, right, is that we've eradicated darkness from our lives. Yeah, so the title here, where has the light gone? You know, electric light is an extremely recent phenomenon. In 1880, Edison patented the incandescent light bulb. Yeah, so we're not talking about so long ago. In 1925, only half of the homes in the United States had electric light. So less than 100 years ago, after sunset, the only light we were exposed to was the soft and soothing light of candles and oil lamps. But now it's possible to forget to turn the car headlights on because the streets are ultra bright. In today's culture, we need to actually do something to create a dark environment and counteract light pollution. So artificial light and blue light. Artificial light of all kinds interrupts our circadian rhythms. The lights in our homes and the lights of digital and electronic devices like your televisions and your smartphones and your computer screens, they all deceive the body and they deceive the hormones which respond as though it's still daytime. Right? The power of light is measured on the Kelvin temperature scale. And now the blue light that emanates from a computer or a tablet or a smartphone monitor is stronger than the midday sun. Under the effect of blue light, melatonin cannot rise, right? It's impossible, right? Under the effect of blue light, the melatonin cannot rise. And instead, the level of cortisol, the stress hormone, remains high in order to keep you awake and alert and active at a time when you should be relaxed and sleepy, right? It causes that tired but wired feeling. Yeah? High cortisol and the interrupted circadian rhythm, we know this because we've looked at cortisol, the stress hormone. High cortisol and the interrupted circadian rhythm cause cravings for sugars and carbohydrates. It impairs fat metabolism, causes insomnia. It impairs the immune system. It decreases cognitive function and it reduces energy the following day, which causes cravings for carbohydrates. And artificial light pollution doesn't affect just humans. Yeah, reduced levels of melatonin have been noted in all animals which have been studied, resulting in disrupted hormones and reproductive cycles. Yeah, so it's kind of sad what's happening on the global level. So, 10 ways to prepare for a good night's sleep. To sleep well, it isn't enough to simply go to bed. A good sleep hygiene practice must be developed, a routine that provides the body brain with the right conditions to relax and for the hormones to regulate. So 10 steps here. Number 1, caffeine. Stop consuming caffeine in any form around midday. Caffeine has a half-life of 6 to 7 hours. And what that means is that 6 to 7 hours after you've consumed the caffeine, you still have half of it in your body. And of course, it's a stimulant, so it's not going to help with our relaxation. Number 2, food. Stop eating at least 2 hours before sleep. The body can then focus energy on the rejuvenating and healing processes rather than on digestion. Number 3, prepare the space. The bedroom should be a clean and tidy room reserved only for sleeping and for very quiet activities such as reading and cuddling. No electronic devices or digital equipment in the bedroom. Big no-no. No red lights on. The bedroom must be perfectly dark and cool. Number 4, the hours in bed. Count the hours backwards from the moment you need to wake up and allow for 9 hours in bed, right? You want to be sleeping for about 8 hours and you'll need the other hour just for reading and for chatting and for cuddling and for falling asleep and for waking up slowly in the morning, yeah? And you might even need to wake up once during the night and that's perfectly okay, all right? So count backwards 9 hours we're in bed, we're in that space and in that environment for 9 hours because not all of it's going to be sleeping, but we want to be, working towards that. Number 5, switch off an hour or more before going to bed. Switch off all devices, televisions and computer screens and smartphones. If they're not switched off, your body brain will continue to release cortisol to keep you awake, and all those beeps from messages and video games will cause the release of dopamine, which we're going to be looking at tomorrow. Number 6, create darkness. Dim the lights, right? So turn off all your bright lights. The body brain needs darkness for the activation of dim light melatonin onset. Without melatonin, we won't become sleepy. So on the contrary, high cortisol and serotonin will keep us active and alert. Okay, so dim the lights. Number 7 follows on, yellow light. Use only lamps and candles with yellow light. Wear glasses if you need, wear yellow glasses if you need to work with devices or watch TV. And with yellow light, the melatonin will still be released, but cortisol and serotonin levels will be suppressed. You can also download a filter for your screens that automatically reduces the screen brightness after dark, but nothing's actually better than just turning it off. Yeah. Number 8, quiet time. Turn down the volume of the sounds around you and engage in quiet activity. So crossword puzzles or colouring or board games, sewing, journaling, crafting, all of these lovely activities which are relaxing. Just find something lovely to do instead of watching TV. Talk and pamper your loved ones and pets. Practice a little bit of gentle yoga and meditation. You can even just sort of sit on the couch and allow yourself to get bored. Yeah, I do that quite often. If I don't actually have the energy for doing my journaling or my drawing or whatever, I'll just sit on the couch and do nothing and just allow myself to get bored. And that's okay as well, because it's just getting rid of all of the activity, all of that mental activity. Number 9, pajamas. Pajamas. Have clothes that you only use for sleeping. Yeah, for example, don't wear your exercise gear to bed in order to save time in the morning, right? So have your sleeping outfit, your pajamas. And number 10, go to bed. Yeah, put on your pajamas, brush your teeth, always go to bed at the same time, more or less as early as you can. Read for a little while, turn off the lights, and in the morning, wake up naturally, right? So we want to get into these circadian rhythms enough so that we wake up naturally in the morning without the use of an alarm. If you must use an alarm, just choose a soft and non-aggressive sound. But really, we want to be so in tune with our circadian rhythms that we're just sort of waking up naturally, and that little vibration or that little sound, that little gentle sound, is really just the indications of like, okay, it's time to get out of bed now. Yeah, but we're already naturally awake. Okay, it's Saturday, and tonight you want to be starting your second intermittent fast. So remember, you can read through that on your own, because we've already covered this. You know how it works. Have finished your evening meal at 8 o'clock tonight, and then just do all of your sleep preparation, go to bed, wake up the following morning, skip breakfast, and just switch into absolute mindfulness, observing the sensations in your body, the reactions of your body, and just trying to go ahead until midday without consuming food, but only on the grounds that you're not stressed, you're not desperately hungry, you not have any weird reactions, your energy level is stable, and remembering that if energy starts to call, if hunger really starts to call, just prepare yourself a beautiful meal. Okay, so good luck with that. Let me know how you're going. And exercise recommendation for today, because it's Saturday, good idea is to get out and do some extended aerobic exercise. Go out hiking in the hills if you can. And your motivation exercise for today for your journaling is to focus on aspects of your health that you are truly grateful for. Okay, that's it for today, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.